I know a lot of you kind of want to know what there is to do here at the center, so I'm going to say it all as fast as I can, and then if you have questions, you can find me after. So these are our famous taco mixers. They happen week 1, week 3, week 7, and week 9. There's always going to be free food. Each week we have different guests and things like that. Every week except week 5 and 10, on Tuesdays we have our startup workshops, and those are where you learn about the business model canvas, who your customer is, your value proposition, all of that good stuff. And then on Wednesdays from 5 to 7, those are our professional development series. So last night we had free pizza and we had a whole workshop on how to build your LinkedIn. And then throughout the quarter we have some on team building, how to work through conflict, you know, how to email people properly and all that good stuff. And then on top of that, if you want to be more involved, like volunteer or help put on these things, we have a student advisory board where we're actively looking for more of you guys to join our advisory board to let us know what the students want. Like last time we had this, we had Taco Bell, and our advisory board was like, nobody liked Taco Bell tacos. So that's why we had taco today. So if you want to be part of
the important information.
What works and what doesn't work, you can go to ANTrepreneur.uci.edu and you can fill out that application. If you're part of a campus group or anything like that, we also have a group affiliations where your group can hold space here, so you can have your meetings here. Whenever you want to do things here, you can do that as our affiliate. That's also on our website. We also have one-on-one consultations where you can meet with any of our venture consultants on any idea you already have, or if you're looking for an idea at any stage of the business, we help you. We also have...
Real quick. How many people here have an idea that they think they want to start as a business? Raise your hand. Okay, put your hand down. How many people would like to come up with an idea or actually start a business in college? Okay, you're in the right spot.
Yes. All of this is on our website. So find it or find me after. And then follow us on Instagram and campus groups. We have all of our events for the whole quarter on campus groups. We also have like a 3D printer here and extra space for you guys to use and things. So after our presenter speaks, feel free to take a tour, all that good stuff. If you have any more questions, find me. And yes, I think that was all this.
Yay!
Now Sharon!
Sharon from Europe!
Oh, okay.
I'll make it quick.
Hi everyone, my name is Sharon Parks. I'm the director of the Undergraduate Research Opportunities Program, or UROP. How many people have heard of UROP? Yay.
Yes.
How many people have done UROP? Yay, awesome. So we provide recognition and funding opportunities for undergraduate students to do faculty mentored research, and we are branching out and trying to be creative about all the different ways we can support students doing research. And one of these efforts, we're partnering with the ANTrepreneur Center to come up with some of these creative ideas where you'll hear more about the project that we have where you can come up with an idea to innovate and use the space, and you will then, the finalists will do research that will then receive a UROP grant. So we're really partnering together, and I had one other point I want to make, it's out of my head.
Follow you on Instagram.
Follow us on Instagram and come to our information sessions. We have several of them next week and following week. They're all on our website. We have a November 2nd deadline for our fall call for proposals. So not only you might be interested in this opportunity, and that's fantastic, but also you might be doing research like just in your class or elsewhere, and you can definitely get support from us with those types of research projects as well. And certainly as entrepreneurs, you're going to be, you might need to do market research for your projects, right? So these are great ways for us to partner together, and we really hope to see you and provide support for you as well. So now, next, the grand person here, Marisa Acosta, is from our Pretend City, not our Pretend City, her Pretend City.
My Pretend City.
And she will talk to you a little bit about this opportunity. Thanks.
Cool, thanks, Sharon. Oh my goodness, thank you. Well, thank you. Yeah, my name is Marisa Acosta. I am education manager at Pretend City. So like Sharon was saying, there's really great opportunities for you, not to just participate in my project or Pretend City's project that I'm gonna introduce you to today, but to just do that research, to just get that experience. I think the best or coolest thing that I'm excited about this project, obviously it's with my organization, Pretend City, but it's that we're providing you all at this really great stage in your life and getting ready to do what you want to do is opportunity for research. It's not something that I ever had. Everything that's guided me through my education, through my professional career thus far has been working towards providing you all things that I never did or never had the chance to do. So I'll tell you a little bit about Pretend Cities. When I say Pretend Cities, anyone know what I'm talking about? No, that's great. Okay, so that's where I'm going to start.
100% no.
Yeah, that's okay, and that's totally okay. It's definitely not the demographic. So Pretend City Children's Museum, it's local to Irvine. We're the only one, but you might have seen here, I'll show you this picture real quick. It's a place for young children to go and play pretend, right? But Pretend City is a children's museum that's not just a play place. We focus on school readiness, childhood education, early childhood education, providing a space for children to practice their gross motor function, to learn foundational skills, and all of those things. So we are a play space, and the design project that I will let you know more details about is that it's a great space for children to play, but we want to integrate the adults' involvement with their child's learning. It's really great when you have a hands-on parent that's really there to focus on their child, but a lot of times parents come in and it's their opportunity to just take a break, which is totally fine, right? Parents of young children need that opportunity to take a break. I love that Pretend City offers that safe space for young children to have fun, take risks, and all those things in a safe environment. But the goal is to provide education, and the top tier goal is to educate parents on how to interact and engage with their little ones so that they can grow and they can really kind of be the most successful through their development. So the project is thinking about what tool can we develop and incorporate into our space so that parents seek out that opportunity to learn the purpose of our space, to learn the purpose of each interactive little activity, and maybe even guide them into some activities they can do at home once they leave Pretend City. So that's kind of the basis of everything. I want to quickly just show you some photos of our space to kind of get you thinking about what the project would look like in the museum. So Pretend City is like an interconnected city, right? You walk in through kind of the city hall area and you walk into a city. There's a grocery store and there's a UPS store and there's the fire station, the police station. So children are living out their reality. Maybe they've gone to the grocery store with their adult and so they're practicing those same skills in our museum. They're going to the farm. They're not just picking plastic fruit off of the wall, right? They're learning about maybe healthy eating habits. They're practicing their gross motor function by reaching up and down. So even though they're playing pretend, all of these have really educational impacts on their overall development. So we have a farm, we have a construction zone, which I really love. We actually just got a really big grant. Igniting Potential is what we call not just Pretend City, but it's an overall 24-hour campaign to raise money to support the development of kind of nonprofit spaces. And so our Igniting Potential campaign just a few days ago focused on our construction zone, which I love because I actually have a science background, so that concept of engineering and critical thinking, kind of open-ended practices can be done in the construction zone. And with our really big goal that we reached, within 24 hours we raised over $15,000, we can implement cooler tools that children can use here to practice that skill and maybe start learning and loving engineering at a really young age. We have an amphitheater for those performers that really love being in the spotlight, the home. In Pretend City, we have a focus on diversity, equity, and inclusion. And so two of our spaces, one of them's a home and one of them's a cafe. We change over at least twice a year to reflect a different culture, different traditions in the home, different family types, different family sizes. And so they can practice those daily routines. The beach, because we're local to Irvine, local to SoCal, everyone knows the beach, but it also has really great practice for sensory play, right? And so maybe parents don't realize that the beach, we all love the beach because there's the ocean and we grew up in SoCal, but that sensory input, children seek it out because they're learning about their environment. So that's why children love to play with sand. This project's really going to focus on sharing kind of their high-level concepts, STEAM concepts, with adults. So, do we know what STEAM is?
Some people are confused with STEAM
All right.
and STEM. Can you explain that?
STEAM and STEM. So STEAM is kind of the same as STEM, except it incorporates the arts. So STEAM is science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. I actually really like this geared towards focusing on the arts and involving that in STEM and science education because, as I mentioned, I really love engineering, and so much of that has to do with design. So you can be an artist and just love drawing, but still kind of seek out a science-based career if you're looking into architecture or engineering. Everything comes out of a design model, and so incorporating the art into STEM is what STEAM is, but science-based concepts. And like I said, the project is, yes, connecting what the child is doing as they interact in our space, in our museum, to specifically STEAM concepts. So there's so much that children learn and do when they come to Pretend City, but the project is going to focus on STEAM concepts. So we do have a focused STEAM lab. We actually changed it over just a few days ago to focus on like gardening, plants, biology. It has to do with our changeover for the home. We actually changed one of the indoor spaces to look like an outdoor space, like a garden. So right now we're doing a lot of focused on biology inside of the STEAM lab. But things always change over in this space as well. Like I said, continuing through all of the important spaces in the city, we have a fire station, a police station, so our emergency services. Like I said, we also have the cafe, all of these little things that may seem kind of normal for what we do. We go out to a restaurant, maybe we make our own food in our homes. Again, practicing those routines for children kind of helps them like solidify the reality of their adult world around them. Cafe does also change over twice a year. We actually just transitioned it from a Korean barbecue restaurant to a Mexican restaurant since we're in Hispanic Heritage Month. Health center. So this is a really cool space because children are able to kind of practice these real life routines, these real life situations that they may be in. So maybe they've never been to the dentist before, never been to the doctor's office before. We have a space for them to be in there, feel comfortable, play, maybe live out the role of the doctor, and then have an adult come in. Maybe their caretaker comes in and is the patient, so they can just be a little more comfortable within that space, so they're prepared, not just physically for the things that they do, but mentally prepared for all of those little challenges that they'll see as they grow up. We have a marina. Again, Pretend City is really designed based on our locale, which is Orange County, Southern California, coastal. So we have a marina, again, with water, a lot of sensory input for children. Some children need a lot more of it, some children need a lot less of it. And so in this space, they can all kind of work together and find their own balance. We have a library because one of the kind of main focuses we want to provide for children is introduction to literacy at a very young age. Our target kind of audience for a child is 0 to 8. So as young as 0 years old, babies, we provide an opportunity for them to come, learn, practice those skills, whether there be motor function or social emotional connection. So many children, especially ones that were born in the last few years, lack communication skills, lack socialization skills. And so just being able to introduce even this concept of literacy. Maybe they've never spoken in, maybe they've never seen letters or spoken in a language other than theirs or heard a language other than theirs. So we have this library to show them a lot of different types of books. We have a big focus on improving the multicultural kind of section of our library. So introducing children to literacy has like a direct connection to improving their communication skills. The UPS store, children love to deliver boxes, I think because children probably see their families receive a lot of boxes in their home. I don't know why the UPS store is so popular, but it is. It's really great also that we have some great sponsors and partnerships within Pretend City. It's one of the things that keeps us growing. We're a not-for-profit organization. The UPS store has been with us almost since the beginning, and so they sponsor our space. We do have an art studio. All the things that we focus on in Pretend City is children-led play. So children want to go into the space that they want to go to. They want to spend most of their time in the grocery store. They'll spend most of the time in the grocery store. If they want to spend most of the time in the art studio, we definitely allow them to do that. We encourage parents to let them do that as well. And specifically in the art studio, it's child-led creation. So we provide them with the materials, but children can create whatever they want. And like I said, we still maintain a focus not just on older children, like that are in school, that are reading, maybe doing math, writing, but we provide specific events for little babies, little infants, including like a safe zone for them inside of our museum. We have a lot of different spaces. We call them learning spaces versus exhibits, which is kind of a typical word that you use when talking about museums, museum exhibits. But they're learning spaces because we want children to learn as they're playing. So really quick overview of Pretend City, an introduction for you all. Because as I said, we're a non-for-profit organization. We're education-based focus for early childhood development. And right now we're local to Irvine, kind of right near the Spectrum, if you're familiar with where that is. We're right down the street from the Spectrum. But this project, they have some handouts here kind of with the information that are going to come up on the next slides if anybody wanted to come up to get one. But this project is kind of the first step to the new museum. And when I say new museum, Pretend City has a goal of kind of doubling or tripling our footprint of our current museum size to a larger space at the Great Park of Irvine. So we have secured a big spot of land to transition. At the end of this presentation, I'll show you some concept designs for the new museum. So we're going to move from the current little warehouse that we have into this really big space at the Great Park of Irvine. And we want to make sure that it's going to kind of stand that test of time, right? We know that technology is going to be in our lives, in our children's lives, and probably forever going to be integrated into the lives that we live. We want to provide a safe space for children to access and use technology. One of the biggest things that our current museum lacks is integration of technology. We've been in our museum now for 13 years. So 13 years ago, tablets were not a thing, Wi-Fi was not a thing, not as prevalent as it is now. And so this project is giving you all and us the opportunity to really think about this great integration of technology within the space. So developing a prototype is going to be kind of the goal of this project. Two, as it says, to connect adults kind of with the concepts we want children to learn in that space. The main goal for this project is for this to be interdisciplinary, because Pretend City provides a lot of things, right? As I was saying, it's not just gross motor function, it's going to be literacy and communication, social-emotional skills will be built. And so this interdisciplinary focus, the interdisciplinary teams that I hope you all come up with, helps you think kind of outside of the box of what things can be done to kind of reach the goal of this project. We do have $10,000 in funding for this project overall, which is a really big number, and that's getting you very excited. That's the starting point. That's the starting point. We're going to have an upcoming workshop in a few weeks in October where we're going to have a solidified amount. We're actually in talks with some big corporations that have shown interest, that have said they're willing to kind of help increase the budget for this, including increasing the grand prize cash amount. But you know, it's working with corporations and kind of trying to solidify them into a conversation so that we can get this minimum $5,000 to a bigger number for you all. But I think that that is the coolest thing, right? That you're not really losing anything with starting to participate in this project, right? So come up with that high-level idea, this like kind of dream big idea in a project proposal that you'll pitch to my organization and other representatives, right? We're going to fund that. So when you come up with the budget and you say you need X, Y, Z, right, that's going to be funded. And on top of that, you'll get a cash prize after you implement it within our space. So we want to support you and all of those goals. There's so many hands up that you want to start a business, start a project, create those prototypes. But it is a really great kind of starting point and beginning opportunity if you've never done that before. I'm also very excited because I'm going to be working with you all closely so that you know what you're doing. Going to the museum is going to be mandatory for all of the teams so that you understand the space. Hopefully you'll even get to visit when there's people in there, when there's little ones in there, there's families engaging in this space, so you can understand kind of what it looks like.
And I'll add here that this is a resource, we're a here resource. So your team can meet with our venture consultants, you can 3D print part of it, you can use the space to meet. So again, this is a place to flex your entrepreneurial muscles.
And then as I mentioned, we are looking forward to, hopefully in the next few years, the goal is summer of 2025, opening the new museum at the Great Park. So really cool opportunity to like start at this small idea, you'll develop this prototype, you'll test it in our space, and it's going to be implemented in the new museum. It's going to be, you know, with us throughout like our whole future as Pretend City. And it just starts with this small project you guys working on. So a little bit more just words. To devise a mechanism to provide adult visitors with more in-depth understanding of STEAM learning. So again, parents are just existing through the space with their child, but we really want to focus the adult, the caretaker, maybe the older sibling that comes in with their younger sibling, to see something engaging, intriguing, so that they can learn more about the interaction that's happening within each space.
We got a question.
Yeah.
Will you give access to the slide presentation?
Yeah, so I've printed these out, but I can definitely give this information, share with Ryan if that's the easiest thing.
We have on our website, ANTrepreneur.uci.edu. It's kind of hard to spell, but once you do it once, your browser will remember. And we have, under for students, there will be the Pretend City tab. And so we'll have the information, we can have the slides, and we'll have an interest form just so we can keep in touch. But the next date is going to be Wednesday, October 12th, here from 4 to 5, and that's going to be the kickoff. And the teams are going to be due around then. So tonight is a good chance to meet people who actually might, to meet people who could be on your team. And literally you're finishing off the tacos like, hey, do you want to do this? And so you can organize within teams. And then once we open that up, it'll be probably open on October 12th. So you'll hear about this, but now's a good time to build a team. Just by a show of hands, how many people are interested in participating in a competition like this to some extent? Raise your hand. Okay, so we have a lot to talk about. We'll talk about that with over tacos afterwards, but this is a cool way to meet people and work for some prizes. So we'll make sure you have all the resources and you can sign up.
Yeah, and again, this is like super quick info session. We'll make sure that we get this information to you online or email or whatever is preferred. At the next workshop, it's kind of when we'll solidify the guidelines, we'll talk more detail. By then you'll have an idea and a team. And then myself and then other representatives from Pretend City will be there to talk with your team one-on-one and really talk through your concept.
Come on in.
So like I was saying, we want to connect more. We want to give the adults that visit our space with their children more information so that their engagement is more impactful. The problem is nobody reads signs. Nobody reads signs. So if we put all the information that they want to read on the wall, they're just going to walk right past it. It's not going to be exciting for them to stop and read. Also, again, our target little ones are very little ones that are going to be off moving on to the next thing very quickly. So we've had some ideas, but this project is open to you all. So we're really looking forward to seeing kind of, you know, QR codes are a thing. Maybe that's one of the ideas that you want to integrate, but we want something new. Kind of having you all be fresh eyes to help us find the solution to this problem is going to be a really great opportunity for you all and for Pretend City as well. So how can we get this information that's not just a sign posted on the wall?
And I'll also add one more thing. Of course, I'm chirping from the balcony literally here. But we have students that are creating their own technology. Somebody in this room is trying to eliminate cords by making everything wireless. If you're having that as a passion project, you can use this as a launch pad to see how can we make things wireless. Or if you have a new type of technology on the blockchain that you're interested in working on, you can see how you can apply it to this. So don't just think about coming up with a new idea, but come up with something that you're already working on or that you've thought about as a way to sort of test pilot how that technology can work into this. And that'd be a great spot of validation. People could see it installed, and that could help some traction and momentum.
Kind of a little bit piggybacking on that is you don't have to have a passion for early childhood education to be interested in this project. You can be interested in developing a new technology. You can be interested in marketing something. So maybe you just know that you're great at developing ads, you're great at marketing something, right? So that's the goal of this interdisciplinary team, right? Somebody's creating something, but maybe there is one person that has that early childhood passion, maybe a passion for working with children. Another person's going to be the person that develops the analytics. How effective is this going to be? Because we want to make sure that we can measure the effectiveness of this new tool within our space. And so all of these different focuses and passions that I'm sure you all have, very varied passions and focuses, a lot of different majors probably in this room. So
Let's take a quick poll, just so you can see who's interested. How many people about this project you're passionate about the fact that it's around early child development and working and helping children learn a little bit more? Raise your hand. Okay. No, it was slow to start. There's no judgment zone. We need these people on the team. Okay, there's enough. All right, put your hands down. How many people have marketing chops or interested in flexing their marketing skills with something like this? Okay. How many people are actually interested in computer science? How many programmers we got? Okay. And then how many are STEAM, including art, related majors? So there's a lot of synergy here, which we can talk about over tacos. Back to you.
One important note that I'll make is that the teams that you develop are no more than 5. So there's no like lower limit. If you have 2 really great minds working together, you can still apply to be a part of this project design challenge, but no more than 5. So that's going to be the only kind of upper limit. And then again, everyone in the group that will participate is going to be required to go to Pretend City, and that will be funded. We'll pay for your transportation to get there and back. So again, kind of another little bit of information. So we want it to be eye-catching. We want the people who are engaging with this tool to continue to seek it out as they're moving through the space. So it'll be recognizable, it'll be intuitive, it'll be easy to use. Again, not just adults or caretakers, but older siblings that come into the space. So they're using technology, they know how to use a smartphone. That it can be kind of easy to digest for anyone that is engaging in a space within the museum. These might be things that could be another little challenge within that space. Maybe you're in the cafe and you want to do some kind of sorting challenge. Or it can be things they want to take home. Hey, you want to keep doing this type of activity? These are some things you can take home and do at home and play Pretend City at home. So it should be intuitive, easy to use, but most importantly, we don't want it to just be like a one and done. How can you hold their attention and can have them continue to utilize that tool throughout the space? Because ideally, this will be museum-wide. The proposal is just going to be small, a couple of spaces. The prototypes are going to only be within 4 spaces of our museum, but we have 17 different spaces in our current museum, and the new museum at the Great Park's going to have even more. So really small prototype to start out with. So a couple of dates. I know we already mentioned Wednesday, October 12th. That's going to be our first workshop. That's when the project application will open. And it is going to be here. So it's going to be from 4 to 5 p.m. in this space. At least one member of each team should be present because you'll be able to talk to us one-on-one. See if your idea is a good starting point. Get more feedback from us. You can ask myself and the rest of the education department questions. And then make sure that you complete the project application. So the deadline, so even if you just show up or if you tell some friends from here on the next couple of days, you don't have to complete the application before the workshop, but you do have to complete before the deadline. The deadline is going to be Friday, October 14th. I don't know if we solidified a timeline, a time of day for that. But we can
12 p.m.
Yeah, 12 p.m.
And on the website, it's under students and it's Pretend City Call for Proposals. So you can always go there with updated information and with the application. It'll just be a Google form.
Google form, easy. So also at this workshop, come with that idea, right? So if you want more information, of course, we'll be able to review this and then anything else, maybe from this information workshop, but come with an idea because that's going to be your first opportunity to get feedback from us before you really start the design or your overall proposal. Did you have a question?
Yeah, how many hours do you invest in this?
We're not tracking your hours. We're not. What do you mean? Do you mean the whole design?
Exactly.
The whole design. I mean, I wouldn't even know what lower level that would be and what higher level that would be. So this is up to you all to, yeah.
You need to be competitive enough to win the whole thing.
So yeah, I'm not going to set a guideline. So if you have minimal time to dedicate to this proposal, I still think it's valid for you to have that experience of working in a team and doing the project proposal. In November, so kind of a short timeline, is when you're going to pitch it to us. And it's going to be a very short 5-minute presentation where we actually select the winner. And again, it's just the proposal. So nothing has been built, nothing has been designed. That's not the expectation. So it's just the proposal before November 17th. But like Ryan said, as much time or as little time as you can.
And again, so students always ask, how do I get funding for my business? We have a student startup fund that you can always apply for, right? You can meet with us, we can help you with that. It's also on the website. But this is a chance to just, work, move your idea forward, use your entrepreneurial skills, and actually have cash prizes. And what's nice about this, so we're going to suggest everybody enters into the new venture competition, the Beal Butterworth design competition, but that spans all year to possibly get that cash prize. So this is a fun, short term, just during the quarter, where you can dedicate it, and it'll be over by the time that the quarter is almost over. So in a timing perspective, it's not an entire year length, which I think would be a lot more of a time commitment. This is kind of like a short, fast hustle, minimum viable product, come up with an idea, pitch it. If it works, you get to implement it in 4 spaces.
Yes?
What other schools or organizations are you competing with?
This is just for UCI.
So only UCI students will be pitching?
Yep. So this is, so I'll get to your question, but this is kind of almost like a prototype project for Pretend City as well.
And it's for us to work with Pretend City and with UROP and show how research and entrepreneurship and everything fits together.
Yeah, this is also hopefully going to be an opportunity for other organizations to reach out to UCI, but this is a UCI student-focused project. It's available to you all. Really great partnership that we have with UROP, and not just Pretend City will be offering this type of design project or design challenge for you all. So hopefully you'll see more in the future. There were some recommendations, and when we, Pretend City and my education team, were thinking about launching this project, we came up with these 4. So any kind of STEAM-related major. If we, at Pretend City, we know which concepts we want to focus on, so some of the STEAM information will come from us. But these kind of, if you're thinking of an ideal team, this is what I would look at. Early childhood, some kind of education background, marketing, advertising, computer science, so that coding, kind of that tech piece, and then STEAM related.
And I'll also add, it could be a team of 2, right? So as long as they're 2 different disciplines, that's part of the interdisciplinary, and this is also an opportunity for market research and asking and maybe reaching out to faculty that might not be in that immediate team. So just like any startup, you've got to do customer discovery, you've got to do research, all these different things. So the idea for us is that it's not just a whole group of CS students or a whole bunch of English students or a whole bunch of child development students, but it's that there are a multiple mix. So that mix, it could be a very tech-heavy team, and you could come up with a whole new way of looking at something, and then another team might be more focused on the child experience, and they might be something more tactical. And this is where it's exciting just to see and ideate and come up with what you might come up with.
Yes?
Are there any budgets, limits, realistic expectations, or is it like the sky's the limit?
I'd say for you, the sky is the limit, right? The sky's the limit. This is going to be funded. There is going to be a portion of what we raise to support this project that's going to support your budget. So when you're coming up with that proposal, if you know you need to purchase like a bunch of iPads, put that into your budget. But yeah, I don't want that to be a limitation with your project. That we can we will have more information on like the finalized budget at the workshop. But up until then, don't let that limit you. Anything else?
All right, well, we're here to help field any other questions. And I just want everybody to put their hands together. Nice round of applause. This is a cool opportunity.